Hi-oh, beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Critscast. Or should I say, buenos tardes a todos, bienvenidos a Critscast. Yes, we have some more Nations Cup action, different countries, different languages. We have two teams fighting to try and get through a tiny group. This is one of the groups with only 3 teams in it, so all of the points are extremely important. One of these teams already has picked up 6, that is England. Previously a dominating team in the Nations Cup, have a slightly new roster, picked up 6 points against Latvia. They'll be coming up against Spain, traditionally with some incredibly strong players. Some have moved on to Overwatch, but some are back here trying to get through this group in their first game of the competition. I'm CeeJaey, joining me will be Chando and Wiethoofd on the production. Chando, are you hyped for this, man? This is some fresh faces in this game.
I'm so hyped. It's good to see some new and upcoming English talent, specifically like Jinxie, Charlie, Kunu as well. I was kind of having a look at the Nations Cup roster when it was announced, and I was thinking England. You're definitely going to be seeing Starkey, Drak, Kaidos, that kind of generation of English players. But it's been a complete change-up, complete overhaul, and I think that's really nice to see. Actually, there's a lot of good players here. Do not underestimate them. And likewise in Spain. Spain, a team that we probably wouldn't recognize as being like up there with the talent, but Scatman, absolute beast of a scout. Solo Wallow as well on demo. I think he can be a little bit of a beast when he wants to be. And Kaylee, he's making that comeback. He's always been playing at a pretty high level as well. So nice to see him playing again. I haven't seen him for a while. He's been in some former teams with me, and really great guy. So I'm looking forward to this match, man.
Yeah, definitely. You talked about Kaidos and players like that. You take a look at the talent England's had in the past. Kaidos, Drak, Starkey. This is entirely new generation. And Spain, likewise, have had the likes of Hyper and Harry Hook, who are legends in the past. And this is definitely kind of a fresher face. But Scatmo has been around for a while. Kaylee as well. Solo Wallow played Medic in the most recent season, but is very, very strong on demo. Jorge is a slightly newer face on Medic, but has done well, I believe, in Div 2 this season. Capu on Scout, also plenty of experience in Highlander Nations Cups as well for Spain. W Flash is the newer face to me. Whereas on England, we've got Charlie and McAsian going to be on the Soldiers. Kunu and Jinxie, 2 players who kind of, people may know slightly better from, Premiership Highlander games, but are doing extremely well as scouts in 6s. Nazboy, I believe, on demo. And of course, everyone knows Seeds, who is a Premiership winning medic for 7. So it will be interesting if England win this game. They will qualify for the next round. Spain do have another game against Latvia to decide. We'll be going straight into the action. England in the blue, Spain in the red. And this is CP Process, the first map. Nazboy pretty quick, but so is Solo. Big jump in from McAsian, but Solo denies any sort of damage coming down onto him. Flash is trying to get aggressive here on the top, but it's pretty kind of slow paced here, Chando.
Both teams taking time a little bit. You can see some high ground coming out from Spain there. Katie, very weak, finally gets picked off by Jinxie. And it's going to be Solo Wallow trying to get some space in. He does have to back out, but Jinxie's going to find Solo Wallow. W Flash going to go down as well. That's 3 frags to England so far. The 4th is going to come. Jinxie does actually go down to Scatmo. He then trades with McAsian. But they're going to take this in a pretty decent wipe. They're only losing Jinxie. So they took it pretty slowly to begin with. I think that was the best bet. You saw a really, really fast spot in from McAsian. It didn't quite work in his favour. He backed out. They took it a little slower. I think that was a good call for them.
Yeah, we see England trying to get some pressure onto the last point here, but just backing off after those respawns from Spain come in. Don't want to lose any players. They have a huge Uber advantage here on Seeds. And you can see the passive hold coming in from Spain into Panic Room. But this heavy Scammo denying Naz. He cannot get up into that top. Gets barely any damage. But Kunu is going to be on the chase here. Can he get any of the frags? No, backs off towards the point now. Solo is going to try and deny it, but he gets taken down. Scammo is very, very weak. Kaylee is getting tanked here and should be able to get some of these soldier frags. Huge Rock is coming in from both sides. Charlie is extremely weak. Flash picks him up, but Jinxie is on the point and he's going to capture that down. And it looked to get a little bit messy there for a second, Chando. But in the end, it's just kind of time war on. The DM just shone through for England.
Well, it was a messy push at the end of the day. It didn't really work out in their favour. Nazboy kind of really failed that jump and couldn't really get the damage out, as you said. It was just from the focus solo wallow that gave them access to the point, and then forcing Spain into the lower ground, and then they could win with DM there. But going to the second round now, and very, very passive play style from England here, waiting it out. Meanwhile, the Spanish side, you got a high bomb coming in from W Flash, and that's actually going down. That's a brilliant opening pick, and Seed's probably not in the best position. He's going to have to back up a little bit. It's just Jinxie. He finds one frag. He's going to trade in the end. Scamo's going to find him. Now they want to fight this again, and they do find W Flash, and it's kind of anyone's game at the moment here as Mikasa goes down, but so does Solo Wallow. And Kapu getting that 2k, finding Kunu as well, and Seed's not in a good position now. The follow-up is big from both these Spanish scouts. The Uber does get popped off. That was incredible, actually. I don't know why they didn't back out there sooner, but Charlie's going to make the best of it. He finds one rocket, but those two scouts are very, very, very good defensive work there from Spain.
That was incredible from the scouts there. I mean, Flash won them the mid-fight there. He just kind of launched in twice and just took all of the attention onto him. And because everyone on England was just looking at him, the scouts were just able to tank those heals. And then you can see they're picking up another. Mikasa goes down here, so no soldiers for England for the time being. And Spain should be able to just walk in here for free and take the second point. They still have that Uber charge for Jorge. And looks like they should be able to push into last here before Seeds has anywhere near a charge. He's only at 50%. So they should be able to convert this into a round as long as M6 are used extremely early. There are sticks on the point which get blown off. Kapu getting some decent cap time down, and the cap does go down. England get nowhere near to the point there. There wasn't really much contesting going on. Maybe they thought the sticks would buy them some time there, Chando, but Spain kind of clinically take it up to 1-1.
Absolutely abysmal from England. I really hate to say it, but I expected a lot more from this roster. So far, I mean, it's still early days for this game, but a passive approach just didn't really work for them. They have the DM, they need to get stuck in a little bit, and as Mikasa actually plays a little bit more aggressive there, trying to find some space. He does have to back up a little bit, but now they're finally taking that high ground. Scammer gets launched into the air. He's going to be pretty weak. He's going to have to put that pack. Meanwhile, they've still got this high ground. They've got the aggression. They're starting to corner Spain a little bit now, backing them completely up. But no one has died at the moment. Solo Wallow going very, very weak. Haley gets picked off as well by Nasboy. They're going to be able to get this, but it's not a bad retreat for Spain. They hung on to more or less all their players, only losing their soldiers. But it looks like England wants to keep this going here, and fair play to them. And Spain are going to have to back straight out now. Jorge with 100%. They can set up onto this last, and I mean, they had a pretty decent last hold in the first round, despite having a complete advantage. So maybe they can make something work of this one.
Yeah, you can see actually the respawn onto the spy here. So, you know, obviously I was going to say I'm going to be wondering whether they're going to go for just you know, an Uber exchange and hope that the DM wins through. But I think maybe England are not questioning themselves just yet, but maybe thinking, oh, actually we've got a game on our hands here. We have to think things through, as it is Mikazan, who I'm being told is actually Pappy. But, you know, if you're tagged up as Mikazan, yeah, I'm going to call you Mikazan. It's the way it's going to go. But he is on the spy and does decloak here, nowhere near the medic, decided to go for the sniper, does get a backstab, so no sniper now. Flash should be able to pick him up here. Actually, he's cloaked and he can't find him. I mean, a sniper pick, that's something. Nas actually goes down to Kaylee. Wasn't looking at the other side of the map, maybe I should have been, as the demo's gone down for England, and maybe Spain could go for a push here, or maybe for a sack, but they do have a heavy, so they're just kind of deciding to chill out for a bit on last and just maybe wait for another mistake, as that spy is still alive.
Yeah, I mean, England are kind of a weird position now because Spain is going to be knowing of that spy. At the same time, he can't just run away and get himself killed. But it looks like he's going to go down soon. I mean, he's been ratted out. Jinxie actually finding W Flash might give Mikazan the opportunity to escape here. But no, he's going to get absolutely tracked down by Scatmo there. But I mean, at least Jinxie got that frag onto W Flash, so that's going to equalize things out a little bit. We've got to be careful of Nasboy as well. He's overextending quite a lot in these situations here and putting the team into a bit of jeopardy. Making sure that he just sort of holds his ground, doesn't get too excited and try and take those risks, because, you know, the Demoman's such an important class to keep alive there. Solo Wallow actually going down as the Demoman. That's going to open up a little bit of opportunities for England now if they can just find Scatmo, but they're going to choose to make this exchange here, and the counter Uber straight out. Probably going to wait for that to fade now, as they pretty much went in, got the counter Uber and just backed out, playing in lobby still. It's just Charlie on the backlines there. He gets found out by Scammo. Kapu goes down, however, so does Nasboy and Kunu. Not looking great now for the English roster, they should have to back out here. CeeJaey and Jinxie, the last two alive, they are well out in time. No one's going to be chasing off them anytime soon. But yeah, some really questionable pushes coming out from England.
I mean, it was a decent push. I mean, they got the pick onto the Demo Man. Solo went down, so no Demo Man. That's a great opportunity for a push, but it just didn't work out. I mean, there was some great flashes from Jorge. He kept it on the heavy. He was just the focus for the majority of the Uber. Flashed his scouts to keep them alive. They were able to get some decent damage out and just hold on to that push. And by the time that the Ubers were worn off, Solo Wolo was back up. That demo pressure was there for Spain. Obviously, the respawns for England were nowhere near. And then they tried to go again with the dry push, which, you know, was pretty decent. But in the end, it was just, you know, some crisp rockets there from Kaylee. As Kaylee is trying to fight people in PC, does pick up the kill onto Charlie, but is going to get taken down. That's 3 players down for Spain now. This pressure coming in from the flank has worked really well for them. Some long respawns as well. Both soldiers are dead for the next 10 seconds. England could take this in with a huge kind of man advantage here, as they are already in the last. Solo is taking the majority of the damage. Nas gets juggled though, and that might be the opportunity for England to maybe decide to just take things a little bit slow. But Mikazan is behind. He's getting some decent damage. Capu's gone down. Flash is going to maybe try and contest him now. They get some decent flag, and there you go. Flash gets the frag. Huge play there. Really necessary, as Mikazan was just in such a dangerous position.
There was a big risk by W Flash, but it clearly worked in his favour there. I mean, if he'd lost that 1v1, it would have been absolutely dire, but at the same time, you cannot leave a soldier on the backlines there, just waiting for that damage to come in, and then eventually he's going to make a play, and he's going to be risking your medic's life or your demo's life. So, I mean, fair play to Flash there. You know, good decision, good aggression, but it has meant that England's had to back out a little bit. They're just playing on second rather than in lobby. Perhaps just waiting for a better opportunity here. No off classes coming out from England either. I bet to maybe see like a Kunu sniper, which we're yet to see. I mean, even a Jinxie sniper for that matter. Both of them very talented. I mean, Kunu Premiership Highlander sniper, very, very good. But as I say, that 2 kills coming in, 3 now actually for England, as they find the 2 soldiers and Scatmo and get the Uber out as well. That's about as good as you can ask for. Now they're straight in. Got to deal with Solo Wolo. He's tanking it a little bit, but he does go down eventually. It's just Jorge, and the ×4 is not going to take long to make this match a 2-1.
Yeah, that was really kind of strange, really messy play there from Spain. They bled a couple of players, and the problem is, especially on process, because of the amount of space there is, if you let one player die, if the other person supporting that dead player doesn't get out in time, they can easily get picked off as well, and then it just cascades into, you know, a snowball effect where one player dies 2, then 3. And when you find yourself in a situation when it's just you and your demo as a medic, you have to use that Uber, you're not going to get anything good out there. So kind of just fragging out here for England, but this new mid fight now, Flash is the first person to die, so he's trying to get aggressive. A lot of weak players on Spain. Solo is in there, and yeah, he's going to get picked off as well. Jorge is out of there with his scouts, who seem to be kind of the players that just kind of pocketing the mega here. Both scouts playing very, very close, and it just seems there was no opening. A big jump in from Mikazan, but he gets just demolished there by the couple of scouts. But England already pressuring last here. They're not content with just capping second. They want to get some pressure on the next one. They actually have, you know, about 5-10% advantage. They push on the dot here. They could catch out Jorge, but it does look like going to slow things down here. It is 2-1 into their advantage. They can just chill out, play things slow, maybe like you said, get a sniper up or another spy, and just wait for that big pick. But Spain need to kind of work away here to kind of push out from last, because at the moment, there we go, Kunu respawning on the sniper. So interesting to see if either Capu or Scatmo decide to switch off to sniper, and see if they can try and get a counter pick.
I think this is certainly where England could come into their element in this match. Those off classes are going to be pretty incredible. Kunu's a very, very hard sniper to contest with here. However, they've opted to just use that Uber straight in and get the counter Uber off. And now if they can just play on... I mean, I don't know what's going to happen from here. I suppose it's just going to kind of go back to how it was before, but with neither teams having that Uber. And it might give Kunu the opportunity to go for some picks here. It looks like they're going to work their way back into lobby. W Flash gets found out by Jinxie. Seems to be happening quite a lot. Jinxie on that flank is doing a hell of a lot of work here. Capu very, very weak as well. But Nas and Jinxie and C's all going to go down to a insane play there by Solo Wolo. And that is almost a wipe. I think Charlie is going to make the best of the situation, but he's going to get found out as well. But Solo Wolo with the 3k and I think it was an arrow kill as well.
I think it was a 4k
Jorge.
actually. I think it was
4K,
4. Like
wow.
one of them was coming from the pipes. Just absolute destruction. Absolutely insane. I mean, the saving grace for England there was Kuhn who got the snipe onto Jorge, so there isn't a huge uber advantage for Spain now, but England making the mistake, I feel, trying to go in from that far side. A lot of teams like to do that when they've got a sniper, but you're just going through that choke, and if there is a soldier or a demo man there, you can just destroy it. But they're going in to second now. CeeJaey has gone down. Spain kind of in no man's land here, but Jinxie goes down in exchange, so probably a decent trade. It's kind of debating whether they want to go in or not. Capu gets some decent damage onto Nasboy, but he backs off. Flash trying to peek him through the flank, and Charlie's quite weak as well. So England taking damage here, but there's not really any opening as Mikazan is in on the other side. Cannot get anything onto Jorge as he retains his life, and of course that uber percentage as well. So now again, things maybe slowing down a bit. No off classes for either team. We do generally see a lot more sniping on this map. And I would have loved to have seen maybe Scatmo or Capu go up against Kunu throughout this map and just just have some sniping going on. But at the moment they're just deciding to go for the cookie cutter and just playing it slow, because I mean Spain seems to be doing well at holding at the moment. England struggling to kind of find an opportunity to just dive bomb in and get that opening.
Speaking of dive bombs, here comes Mikazan in for another sack. But Capu and CeeJaey quick on him to put him back into the respawn queue there. I mean, I admire the aggression he's putting out. He really, really wants to find the medic and find those openings, get that uber advantage, get that pick. But it is coming at a cost. He is not succeeding too much. Charlie's going to hit the bomb in as well. Finds one rocket and actually gets the force off into the end. Much, much better outcome there. And they have lost both of their soldiers. Mikazan now on that respawn is going to be back in just in time. It's very well coordinated actually. And now England's going to have that full advantage. Once Charlie's up, there's no reason why they can't make this work. Maybe even before, as they are getting ready to go through into the, what's it called? PC, sorry. With their medic now getting ready with Nasboy and a scout. CeeJaey's going to just instantly get demolished by Nasboy's stickies there. Capu's going to go down as well. They might not even have to use it here if they can deal with Scatmo, but they just get forced. There was a nice shot there by Scatmo. He couldn't find the follow-up in time. C's had to pop off, but they're already in on last here. It might not matter. If they can deal with Solo Wallow, then they can make this work, and they do indeed. They're going to be plonking themselves onto the point there, and CeeJaey cannot get there in time. Going to make this 3-1. It's looking a little bit more comfortable for England now, but despite that, there would be some weaknesses for them. For such a high-level team, they're definitely making some rookie errors, and hopefully we can see those get sort of worked out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that was won by Seeds, I feel. He played so passively, doing that old baiting your team strat, and, the soldiers for Spain were just trying to wait for that opportunity to get a peek onto CZ to get the force, and it took 3 players to do it. But the first casualty of this new mid-fight is Flash, and Spain deciding they don't want to contest it anymore. They just don't have the positioning, so they're backing off onto second. Do get the frag onto Mikazan. There's a lot of damage in the choke. Seeds goes down. Hero pipe from Solid Wallow there with the Iron Bomber, lands into the face of that 7 medic, so no heals for England now. And if Spain play this slowly, it should be able to roll in through the choke and just kind of group up and get something done. The scout gets aggressive in the choke, but Kunu is just going to get demolished there by the powerhouse that is Scatmo and Solo. That combination. Jinxie is also in PC. He's just going to get sandwiched. Flash gets credit for the kill, but the Spanish players are just kind of flooding around here. They have Uber now. Seeds is back up, so there is heals on the side of England. Charlie trying to get some pressure through this choke. Mikazan actually goes in for the jump, trying to get onto the medic, but he throws about 3 different rockets in 3 different places, and none of those players go down, unfortunately for him. So still a huge Uber advantage here for Spain, pushing in through PC now, and Seeds at 50% playing passively on balcony. Spain have used it, Chando. They're already in through lobby.
They have used it. However, W Flash does go down to Nasboy. Providing Nas can get out alive, they can hold onto this and maybe even commit to a repush here. But he's going to go down. CeeJaey with those rockets. And, I mean, that was not good aggression there from Nas at all. I mean, they found that one frag. They just had to wait it out a little bit because Kunu and Seeds have both gone down as well. I didn't even notice how that happened, but they shouldn't have played that aggressive there. It was CeeJaey.
Pressuring in through the rollout area and just throwing in the rockets. And CeeJaey comes in again, just throwing rockets. Charlie, though, wow, a 4K to save that last point. But yeah, that was pretty clutch. Jorge has survived though at 50%, so he's going to have an Uber advantage back with Capu on mid. But yeah, in the end, Charlie just saving the day there for England. That could have easily been a cap to Spain.
Absolute hero play there coming out from Charlie, and it's given them a bit of ground to capture second and hold on to it, and Seed's currently at about a 20% disadvantage, but they can definitely iron that out. I don't know if Spain is aware of that advantage. I mean, they're already taking that aggression in, so they might. Mikazan putting out some damage, trying to go a little bit aggressive, just slowing down that that push forward from Spain, and it seems to be working for them because Seeds has now got that full Uber. Spain's not in a great position, or he could easily get forced out here. He's going to have to use it, and Capu, both going to go down before the force is popped out of Jorge. Seeds did use as well, but lacking both of their scouts, it's going to be very hard to hold on to mid here. Nasboy absolutely surging forward along with the soldiers, putting out massive damage. Can they find Solo Wallow? No, they cannot. So close there. Solo Wallow on 8 health, but he still hasn't actually been healed yet. Finally finding that arrow. Charlie going down in the process, and they might have to slow this down a little bit. I think if they found that demo, it would have been different, but they find Jorge instead, and that is even better. Finding for Solo Wallow in the end as well, along with W Flash. Only 3 up now for Spain here, but Capu on that 1 HP, and no one can find him. And can they find Seeds though? Yes, they do. Capu finds 2, in fact. So weak, he's still on 1 health. Nasboy cannot find the pipe, and oh my lord, insane plays by him.
Can we get ones in chat there for Capu being an absolute hero on 1 HP, picking up 2 frags, including the medic, and Scammo coming in to help out with the other 2 frags. Absolutely insane from the Spanish scouts here. Means they're going to have an Uber advantage once again. Seeds is up at about 10%, but Jorge at 40%. They have control of mid now as well, and they can probably try push, but Big Bomb's in. Charlie comes in, but does not get anything. Gets some damage down. In comes the second one. Mikazan comes down. Jorge is dodging. 1 HP from the Spanish medic. He survives. 3 down for England now, as Kudu also in down to the pipes of Solo Wallow, and Spain decided to come into second now, and England cannot contest this.
What a tilt from England there. They really need to focus up a little bit. They're just launching player after player, trying to find the medic, the Spanish medic, but it is not working for them. I think they are a little bit over their heads here. They need to slow down a bit, and now instantly Uber comes out. They have to deal with it quickly. They're just launching players on point, and there it is, 3-2. What a close game here, CeeJaey. I did not expect for Spain to even take 1 round, no offense, let alone 2 in a 3-2 situation. It's fully doable for them here, and England really need to change their playstyle. They're playing far too aggressive at the moment here. They're not playing in sync. They're launching every single player they can to try and get the medic, and just simply put, I think they're underestimating Jorge's ability to dodge and the Spanish scouts' ability to defend their medic, and they really need to kind of change up their playstyle a little bit as they go into this next round. And they've got good high ground. Both the scouts very aggressive on this high ground here. They're backing them out. This is much better from England, and not really overcommitting, as I say that. Mikazan straight in, but Solo Wallow, Stickies are waiting for him on the choke. He goes down, but they didn't actually lose anyone. Just really good damage coming out from England. We might be able to see a repush here. We will have to wait and see there, but for now, England's going to take that mid-fight in a pretty much very uneventful mid-fight.
England are just so aggressive during the mid-fights that it's so interesting how they're being so dominating during the mid-fights and not being able to be the same during the games, during the kind of the transition plays from point to point. At the moment, England just total control during the mid-fight. Spain just cannot seem to find an opening. The soldiers are trying to pump in. As I said, Mikazan comes in, lands 1 rocket onto Jorge, who drops down there. The spam rockets are coming in. He's going in for a second bomb. Jorge is dodging down to 20 HP, but survives again. This man just cannot eject a spam rocket from afar, and he is still going to survive. No, England just cannot kill this man. The scouts just denying. He comes in for a second bomb. Charlie is now there, going for the rockets. Jorge finally does pop there. They've lost 1 player, which is Scammo, but they're going to try and get the force here. Charlie is getting out, very weak himself. Flash goes in, but he's going to get taken down by Kunu. This is looking better for England. They still have the Uber. Capu is fighting for his life, trying to get some damage onto Seeds. Balls of steel to not pop the Uber there. And Spain have to trundle back onto last. Mikazan goes in. Nice rockets onto Scammo. It does actually get another frag there. And that's going to be about 10 and 20 seconds on the respawn for 2 Spanish players. It's going to be very difficult for them to hold this, as England still haven't popped their Uber here.
And they're straight in now with the soldier coming in behind. If someone can deal with Kaylee, then it might be a saving grace. Solo Wallow now, the last standing effort. Another high bomb from W Flash, but brilliant cleanup. Really well played there by Jinxie and Charlie, in fact. Getting at the correct frags at the correct time there, just focusing out those players. It was a good situation for England and putting them back into a slightly more comfortable position, which I think is very, very good for such a strong team. I mean, they must be tilting a little bit to be 2 rounds down to, or even losing 2 rounds, sorry, to Spain, who no one particularly expected to have too much success in this Nations Cup, but this match is really proving everyone wrong. I think Spain is definitely a team to not be underestimated. So we go into this next round here. W Flash does go down pretty quickly, but Nasboy getting found out is going to be a big loss for England here. And despite losing both their soldiers, England's the one with no demo man. It's going to be hard to keep that aggression going, but they're going to do their best. They're going to power through it. And Mike Asen does go down as well, though. Just way too aggressive there, way too balls deep. And I'm not really too sure what. I guess they want to keep this going, and Spain has responded, backing out, probably for the best there. They don't want to risk anything. Jorge did survive, however. He's been surviving a lot, actually, and been doing really, really well for himself. Now coming into 100%, and it looks like England's going to have to slow this one down.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem there is that Spain, I don't know if they're scared to get aggressive or they're trying to delay their pushes somewhat, because during the mid-fights, Flash just got taken out by, I think it was Charlie. I'll come back to that point in a minute as McKisson comes in. Nice pipes there from Solo to take him down. Just kind of this aggression isn't coming in from the Spanish soldiers at the right time. I feel Flash is waiting for something, and then Kaylee goes in once Flash is dead. I feel if they just went in very, very early on, got that pressure, the scouts for Spain have been dominating. So, if they're able to do something there and kind of change it up, as Scatmo is on the spy, he's trying to revolver down Seeds, maybe get a force that way. It's not working. Do you have another spy in play, and that is Charlie. So he's going to try to go for a sneaky play himself. We do see Flash switching off the soldier onto the Pyro, maybe just trying to prepare to get a bit of a denial coming in as Mikazan goes down. So Charlie is currently in lobby as spy, just waiting for Spain to push out here. I'm not quite sure of his plan, but we'll have to see. They have got a Pyro, so they fancy some spy checking going on. But Spain seem comfortable on these last holds, just kind of waiting as they do take down the spy there solo with the stickies. So yeah, no backstabs for the time being. We see Scatmo deciding to switch things up, maybe trying to go for an aggressive peek here as he spawned onto the sniper.
I think that's a much better decision there. The spy plays clearly aren't working. I'm pretty sure that, wow, Scatmo finding Jinxie, however, that is pretty huge actually. Nice shot by him. And it's going to make a nice trade for Kaylee, who went down trying to force out Seeds there. Will Jinxie respond with a off class, though? We shall see. It doesn't look that way. Looks like they're opting to leave Jinxie. Actually, no, I'm sorry, Jinxie going onto that spy instead, trying the spy roll. No one really. Oh no, he's going to be back onto Scout instead, just checking the rolls there. He'll be aware of Scatmo now, although I'm pretty sure he would have been afterwards, after that incredible headshot. But Scatmo does go down, and the Ubers are exchanged there, with Mikazan going down as well. And now Seeds is going to pop his. That's really good really good use actually. If they can find Capu on the backlines and Kaylee, and they can deal with this quite well. They can actually finding Jinxie, but Solo Walla going down along with Capu. This could be a very good exchange here as Kaylee goes down as well. Kuno on that 4K, really, really good cleanup from him. Gonna make it 5-2, and definitely England playing that driving seat a lot more.
Absolutely. I mean, they did so much damage going in for that push there. It was well played. I mean, Jorge got forced as they were trying to hold one there. And Seeds was just again playing so passive with his team that they didn't have to use Uber until quite late on. They had such a huge Uber advantage. So the amount of damage that came in, they actually had a man disadvantage during that last fight. But everyone on Spain was so weak that Kunu when just came in and just cleaned up there. And we do see again aggression coming in from England. Naz is very weak on the point. Has to wait for an arrow. Mikazan just distracting in the Spanish PC, making sure nobody is going to try and back out from there. Charlie is in on the medic. Jorge extremely weak, down to 7 HP. Does get taken down by Nas, who walks across the point. He gets a 2K. And the English scouts also in on the cleanup. There's only one alive now, and it's Capu. Can he go for a hero play? No, that is a wipe. And only Charlie goes down for England. And again, a very strong mid-fight coming out of the English. Seeds surviving, huge Uber advantage. It just seems that Spain are relying on stuff happening outside of the games, on second, on last, because if the game was played outside of the mid-fight, Spain will probably be winning this. It's just during the mid-fights, England are just so strong as they push into last here. Uber issues, Jorge goes down straight away, Mikazan with the 2K. They do lose a couple of players here though as Spain start to come out. There's actually 2 players capping on the second point there, Chando. So it's a bit of a misplay coming out of England because you're pushing in with 3 players, and trying to hope that you can win and get a 6K, but it doesn't quite work. I mean, do get Jorge and Caesar survived, but you know, if they were a little bit slower, a little bit more calculated there, that could have been a round conversion.
Absolutely there, and Spain doesn't want to risk that again. They're going to walk straight out, and Caesar's just going to go straight down to a brilliant little flank play there by Capu. Not even sure where he came from, but they're going to be able to take this pretty easily. However, Kunu exchanging medics, taking down Jorge. It's a really, really good place by both scouts there. Solo Wallo going down as well. That's the two most important players for Spain down. They could keep this going, but they don't. England just doesn't have the heals for the moment, but they're definitely going to be able to retake second. You'd like to think. However, actually, Nas finding that 2K onto Capu and W Flash. Mikazan timing out as well, but I think they can just sit comfortably on the second point here for now. I'm sure he'll be back in no time, but no, Spain wants to play dirty. They want to get back in as soon as possible and recapture it. No balls at the moment here, but I'm sure the stubborn English probably don't feel like they don't need a pause at the moment, and they are going to have to back out into mid here.
Yeah, it's only about 2:20 left on the clock, so you know, time-wise, it's going to be extremely difficult, near enough impossible for Spain to get back into this game as they lose a few players. Kunu just cleaning up as the players come in, but Flash comes in, Seeds and Charlie down from the rockets of W Flash. It's just Scatmo and Jorge now. Can they fight? But no, he's getting outmanned there, outgunned by 2 scouts to 1. Jorge is running away. Can he get some support? The scouts are on the chase. He's trying to dodge. He does go for the hail back. Kaylee comes in. Kunu is there, and Kaylee is just doing. Oh no! Jorge's getting chased down. Can he get a frag? He does against the arrow onto Kunu. Oh my days! Nas with the 2K, but it is the Spanish medic who survives again. Kunu with the swears in the chat, and Solo is going to get that beam now. They have the Uber. C's only at 30%. And Spain could convert this into a round. There is time. Charlie comes in from behind though. I'm not sure if Jorge knows he uses just in time. Solo and himself are very weak. Naz gets cleaned up there, but still only 5 plays for England here, Chando. Seats at 50%. I mean, Spain could start rolling this to last and get another round on the board.
It could be a good little morale boost as well for them, even though they know that England's 1 player down there. I mean, it's still quite nice to see that Spain has that momentum. If they can just play a little more aggressive, it might be worth their while to just go for it. And when they do go for it, it does actually work sometimes for them. Just a bit of aggression. They've got really strong scouts at the moment. Solo Wallo is just absolutely tearing it up on the demo man. And if they can just keep this aggression going, yeah, there's no reason why they couldn't take another round here, although it is just dead time. It's still important time in terms of morale here as they push in that right side. Mikazan finally joins back, but I'm pretty sure it's a little too late as T and Kunu both go down, making this 5-2. 5-3, sorry. But ultimately, it's going to be GG's being called in chat. Oh, it should be good rounds as we are not quite over yet. We will be going into Gully Wash to try and find out who can win that one. Will it be equalized?
I mean, these all rounds come into play, Chando, because there's only 3 teams in this group. Most of the groups have 4 teams, so you know you play 3 matches. These teams are only going to play 2. So England basically just need 1 point. They need a golden cap loss, you know, at the minimum in the next round, in the next map, to be able to qualify through first. So I think they'll be confident to get that. Spain still have to play Latvia, and the winner of that game will go on to finish second in the group and go through to the next round. So the fact that this game has finished 5-3, I can't remember the exact scoreline of the England-Latvia game, but let's say that England win this game 6-0, for argument's sake, and Spain and Latvia go, you know, head-to-head. If Spain and Latvia draw 3-3, they're going to be on the same amount of points, right? And then it comes down to the scores in the game they had against England. So whoever had the better score against England will end up doing, better. So it's going to be interesting to see if Spain can, if they manage to get any points here, or if they get some more rounds on the board. It could come down to the wire in that final game, because it has to be a tiebreaker of some sort. But like you said, we'll be moving on to Gully Rush. I think everyone expected England to do well. Everyone always expects England to do well. They have a rich history in the Nations Cups, both in Highlander and in Sixes. They've had some huge names. We did kind of say this is a new generation of English and Spanish players, but the English players, a lot of them playing in Prem, many expected them to qualify from the group and go quite far, but Spain have shown themselves to do pretty well. And it's Kunu who top frags there, going 24 for 13. But the only other players to hit 20 frags were in fact Mikazin and Capu, the scout for Spain, who I felt just... he was unreal at times. I mean, he had some huge plays, but the scouts from Spain, I felt, just did so much work protecting their medic. When it's difficult to take down a medic, I mean, CeeJaey is one of the best medics in the world at the moment. He plays for 7. They're arguably the best team in Europe. They're going to go to LAN. You'd expect them to do well at Ice Series against, the intercontinental teams. CeeJaey died 6 times. Jorge only died 7 times. So, if you're getting similar stats to such a great medic like that, it shows that you're playing well as a medic, but also that your team is protecting you really well. And, despite losing that, Spain definitely should be proud of, of what's happened. And maybe kind of look at some of the things and maybe get some points on this next game.
I think it's definitely possible. I mean, some brilliant plays there by Spain. As you said, Capu just really tearing it up. Not something that I particularly expected. I was really looking at Scatmo at the beginning of this match. He's got a rich history of top high kind of level scout plays. But Capu, meanwhile, more or less kind of top mid, maybe a bit of Div 2. Player who never really kind of jumped that high up. And I think he's been kind of playing on and off. But absolutely insane there. Really getting some nuts frags out there. And 20 to 15, really nothing to grumble at. He's out frag Jinxie, who's been playing sort of like Div 1 and almost out fragging Kunu there, but again just really nice, good damage output from him. I think one thing to remember, this English roster I don't think is their peak that they've got at the moment. I think that the lack of someone like Crafty Dave, the lack of Ratslayer especially, is probably going to take its toll, because I mean, I would have really liked to have seen Ratslayer come into this one. He's an incredible demo man, playing, more. I think he's top 3 at the moment in Prem. Meanwhile, like Nas just hasn't really been playing that much, on and off, the odd kind of sub role and stuff like that, but not really taking on a consistent role in those top leagues. I think like the lack of Yilin as well may be a bit of a problem. Like Charlie is an incredible soldier, but Yilin is, again, top Prem at the moment. And I think that a lot of these English players at the moment we're looking at are more Div 1 based, and their peak players could be looking at more of like the top Prem areas. So, the lack of Crafty Dave and Yilin and Ratslayer is definitely going to have its toll, but there's no reason why Spain can't exploit that at the same time.
Absolutely. I mean,
we're live.
Are we? No, this is just waiting for some people to ready up. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying. Maybe this isn't the the premier English roster that we'll maybe see in the knockout stages, because it does look like England are confirmed to pretty much be going through now to the next round. I still think based on the players here, I mean, Nasboy clearly has a solid DM. He top damaged in that game. You're saying a couple of times during that game where he was getting a little bit too aggressive, maybe getting picked up, but he was putting out over 10k damage, more than anyone else in the game. So I have to see how he fares on this map, if he can put out that similar sort of damage. And the mobility from the soldiers was pretty good on Process, which is a map that normally very scout-centric. So we'll have to see how the scouts for Spain cope on Gully Washers. We are live, England still in the blue and Spain still in the red. We do see a solid kind of isolated here as Charlie goes with a huge bomb. 2 rockets, takes down Jorge very quickly. No heals for Spain for the time being, although 2 players down now for England. They're coming in. Kaylee gets a nice rocket onto Kunu. Very weak players here for Spain, but only 3 alive before England. Kaylee with the rockets. Can Capu come in on the cleanup? Takes down Jinxie. Nas is down and CeeJaey is alone. Now he's a wipe. Scatmo coming in, just flanking away. And you were saying, that rich experience from that man there comes into play. And Spain are going to have a huge Uber advantage now, as CeeJaey is going to be down for another few seconds. Surely going to get second off of the back of this, but straight out of the blocks, Chando. Spain looking strong on this second map.
Just incredible aggression there. I mean, despite losing their medic, Spain just continued that push forward, and it really worked in their favour. I thought that England had that in the bag, but just the clean up from the scouts there. But we're talking about the Spanish scouts last game, and they're showing up so far to be very strong in Gully Wash as well. However, Scammo and Kaylee both are going to go down. One to a snipe from Jinxie, and Jorge, they are actually popping that crits out. and before anything could even happen, someone on the back lines, Capu, W Flash, I don't really know. It was Flash, and wow. Okay, no, I didn't see that coming. Nasboy putting in stickies down clearly. I mean, Jorge was on that crits as well there, so we might see that Capu Jorge crits a little later on, but I'm sure England will be aware of it this time as we go into this next mid. W Flash in the under region there. Just going to take that bomb up. Finds a couple of good rockets, has to back out. He's very, very weak. Probably will go down. Yes, he does indeed. Sees, however, going down by Scatmo. Brilliant pick there. Kunu and Mikazan all go down as well. Just Spain collapsing into them. They find Solo Wallow, but it's probably not enough. Only Jinxie and Nas surviving there. Jinxie trying to make a last effort to find Jorge, but Capu on that defense finds him first. Nasboy now only on the 1 HP. We're seeing so many 1 HP plays here. He's going to get out alive. And fair play to him. It's good to have your demo up on this last area, but not looking good for England.
That was crazy. I mean, just how he gets away with 1 HP there. For a second, I thought he was going to try and sticky jump to last. That would have been a quality play. But again, Scamo seemed to be the deal breaker there, just coming in behind enemy lines and picking up the crucial kills onto the players there. We see England with a Pyro, with a Sentry, Kunu on the Engineer, and Jinxie just going to reflect those rockets away. It's going to be difficult for Spain to get access to that far side. With all of their players just kind of playing there. Nas playing in the water as well, so he's going to have sticky traps available. Charlie goes to join him underneath the point, and England getting really close here. Uber is used, but essentially she's just going to deny it. Flash goes down as well. Kaylee extremely weak, gets taken out by Charlie. It's can't go in from River from that situation there. Capu does take out Charlie under the water there. But Seed's at 90%. It's so difficult to go in against a Pirate and a Sentry. Just going to get blocked there. Maybe they should have gone for a water play, or just go underneath onto the point, as England are going to push out with this huge Uber advantage now. They are a player down. That is Charlie, but Nas is playing quite passive. But Scatmo is actually behind, and he's actually on the point. And Charlie's there. Can he block it? Oh, he does get the frag it with a minuscule amount of time left on the point. But almost another back cap there.
These back caps, England really going to have to be watching out for it. Gullywash is terrible for back caps, and Spain really taking advantage of that at the moment. England, however, surging forward, going to be able to take that mid-point with pretty much no trouble at all, and want to keep it going. Now stacking into Big Door. And it's now trying to play the point. Capu a little bit caught out to those two scouts, and he's going to get taken down quickly. Jorge as well going down to Mikazan. It's a good opportunity for the English roster to push this forward as they pop up their Uber into lobby. They find W Flash as well. Only two up now, Scammo and Kaylee. And Scammo on that respawn. Kaylee's going to bomb in. Instantly gets taken down. Nice play by Nat, actually. Finds them both. A good sticky placement there. Just sticking off the entrance to the point. And yeah, really, really nicely done. And that's going to make it 1-1. But a bit of a shaky start for England here.
That was coast to coast. England using that Uber that they managed to get on last there, defending their own point, defending it from a back cap as well, and then just pushing forward from all the way from their last to the enemy last. And Jorge there dropping to Mikazan. That was the big play from the English Roma. But here we come to another fight with Scatmo getting so aggressive. Takes down Nasboy straight away for the first pick. Big rockets coming in here from both sides. Mikazan is on the point, but Kaylee is the one to pick up Kunu. But then the rest of the players come in. Charlie, Jinxie, Mikazan all picking up frags. Only Flash and Jorge alive. Flash going in for the late play there onto Seeds, but Seeds survives with that 20 HP. Jorge is long gone, all the way on last already to regroup with Scatmo, so should be able to build up an Uber there. But Seeds once again dodging and surviving those last-ditch rockets from Flash to retain his life. And England should be able to capture a second off of the back of this, or those look like Spain may be able to want to contest a little bit.
I think they might, and they probably could as well. Jorge coming into 100% now. There's no reason why they couldn't here, but if they fail, this is going to be very tough for them to redeem it, as Jorge kind of gets knocked down as he uses his Uber, and it's more or less wasted at this point. Scammo actually going down to Nasboy along with W Flash. Seeds hasn't even popped yet. They're going to keep this going. There's a very questionable decision to even try and hold second there. They may have just been better off holding last. They find Solo Wallow. They're going to play that point. If they can find Kaylee, they can get this surely. The scouts are going to rush in, but they're going to get juggled around, making this 2-1 for England. Very, very quick, very, very good aggression coming in from them. And a bit of a bad decision maybe to hold on to second by Spain there.
Yeah, sometimes you're in two minds. You think, we have the high ground, do we just back off to last and try to consolidate a last hold, or do we try to defend here? And they decided to defend. I think there was a bit of miscommunication because Jorge was using that Uber aggressively to try and get his players in, and then as a medic looking around and finding nobody around you to Uber is just awful. But there was no Spanish players close, and Jorge goes down early on. Charlie picking up 2 frags there. We do see some aggression coming in from Capu, does take down Charlie, but both Spanish soldiers are down, and Capu and Scammer are backing off here. Solo Wallo trying to defend himself in the lobby, just getting up some traps, but again, just really aggressive mids from England. They're adapting, I guess, to what Spain have been doing, have been really successful. Solo goes down late on McNazin, kills him and survives, gets out there. Capu respawning on the heavy, just trying to maybe get a bit more solidity on this auto as the Uber comes in. Kaylee gets the force. Kunu is going to get the majority of the Uber, but they're trying to find the frags, and Flash is dodging them. Kaylee comes in and gets the frag onto McCazin, so that is save the day. Solo Wallo is spawning now, so demo up for the Spanish on the last point. 2 down for England, including their own demo, so Spain may be able to push out here. They've got about a 20% Uber advantage, and they're pressuring England out of lobby.
Absolutely doable for Spain here, as however Jinxie on those backlines finds Jorge just at the right time. It's going to change everything now for Spain. Scatmo and Solo Wallo not in a great position here. They're going to have to back into last. Somebody trying to play last there. That's Nas actually. Jinxie as well. They're going to get cleaned up. They find Kaylee and Solo Wallo as well because the cavalry's in. Finds so many players, and that is more or less a wipe. Just Jorge on the pyro roll. Good effort. But, I mean, really good baiting there by Jinxie and Nasboy. I thought that what a stupid play initially, but all the players were just brought to the point there, and then those scouts just storming forward with the help of the soldiers, able to get an insane cleanup, insane damage, to secure that 3-1. Now into the next round here. Going to be seeing how both these teams approach it. McCazin finding W Flash in the under area. W Flash going to win that fight there. High bomb from Charlie. He's going to get found out as well. Both soldiers down. Mad aggression, but it hasn't worked in their favour at the moment. And England making the right decision to back up here. No soldiers, no mid-fights. They're going to have to try and hold second here. Seed's got out without a scratch, more or less. So did Jorge. And the Spanish roster want to keep this going now. Piling in Victor. Putting in some good damage and slowly making their way here. If they can find Nas, who's already very weak, they might be able to do this because nobody's watching Choke either, because Kaylee and Scammer just walking straight through. They find W Flash and Capu. Now if they can rotate effectively, they can probably hold on to this, but England just getting cornered more and more.
Yeah, I mean, Spain there had the right idea, just pressuring straight off of the back of that mid, that mid-fight win. And there were no soldiers for England, so they should have just pressured and got straight in, got deep in with their soldiers, taking that space. But because they kind of hesitated in the choke, gave England enough time for their respawns to come in. And once those soldiers came in, adding it onto the Demo Man spam, just allowed them to just, just go in and just get everyone really, really weak and just get cleaned up by the scouts in the end. Spain did have people coming in through choke. If they just coordinated that slightly better and come in, then they should have been able to convert that second point and sandwiched England, but England holding on. It's just the DM here, as there you go, McCazin takes down Scatmo, and I feel the difference we're seeing here actually as Charlie comes in there trying to get a force onto Jorge. He's dodging and actually holds onto that Uber, goes down to about 50 HP but does not pop. Great pipes again by Solo Wallo to keep himself alive, and Jorge with a nice serve there just to keep himself alive. Has to use that Uber though. And the force does come in as McCazin and Jinxie are behind enemy lines. McCazin picks up a frag onto Capu. Jinxie picks the one up onto Jorge.
Look at Kaylee though.
It's just cleaning up here.
Sorry to interrupt, but look at Kaylee though. That was really good play there actually. Once they used that Uber, he was able to get behind enemy lines there. Unfortunately, it was a bit lackluster, and if he'd made that play a little bit earlier, he might have caught seeds as he was walking through the choke. But nobody noticed him at all. I had big high hopes for him there. Just needed to act on that bomb a little earlier, and he might have had that in the bag. Really nice potential there, but didn't work at all. There. Kunu's going to find Scatmo. Kunu's going to find W Flash, and England's going to find their fourth round there, bringing it into 4-1, looking less and less hopeful for Spain, who had such a good early game mindset there. Only 20 minutes in here. 20 minutes remaining, sorry. And, I mean, they could easily finish this up in just 5 more minutes, England, if they keep this up. But Spain, CeeJaey, what do you think Spain can do to actually redeem themselves at this point?
They need to play a little bit tighter. I feel that England are just exploiting the fact that they're getting an early frag and then it's just rolling in with everybody. They're just trying to just take these DM fights as a unit. And they do get the early pick onto Flash here. Capu is weak underneath the point. Flash complaining, why do arrows exist? Kunu cleans up Capu. So again, Spain kind of playing a little bit passively there and losing players. Kaylee's kind of weak here. They can't really hold on to this choke, and this is the problem. There we go. They get the pick onto Kaylee, and I'm going to expect England to just walk in here. Solo is being baited by his team. He's so far forward. Nobody else is supporting him. He does manage to get out, though, with time. But again, Spain have to back off. They just don't have the point presence, and they do come in with the Uber, actually. They're trying to block this point. Sees at 97%. Doesn't quite have it yet. Scammy runs out of ammo. Gets his stick out. Gets to bashing. And gets cleaned up by Kunu there. Flash is going to try and get away here. At least maybe try and get a force. Seeds is in. But yeah, Spain back off to maybe live to fight another day. England have another Uber advantage, and this is the problem. As you see, this aggression from England is just continuing. McCaslin's already on the last point, jumps in onto Hoy, gets a nice rocket. He gets demolished, but it's not giving Spain time to set up and get into a position. And England are just basically holding the W key at the moment as they use the Uber, just coming straight into last. Nas is going to get the majority of that Uber to take forward onto that spawn, takes down the medic, and they're just running around cleaning up kills as they go. As you know, a lot of the Spanish players here are just so weak.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, these scouts now just piling in. They can find Scammo and Kaylee. They can surely take this, but in a turn of events there, Nas, Kunu, Charlie and Jinxie all actually going down to the DM fights there, and it's going to be Steves is just the one to run away there. Actually finds Capu on the retreat, gets him with the arrow, and he's going to be able to fall back with his life, but Jorge now is going to have that small advantage, more or less equal by the time Seeds finds another player to latch onto with his Uber there. McCasn going in late game as well. That's going to be tough for England, but they're going to be able to hold on to mid here, no doubt, with more or less equal Ubers. But brilliant turn up of DM there from the Spanish roster. Did not expect that after losing their medic. You thought it just would be game over for that round, but they really changed things up there. But as I say that, the English DM really comes into play there. They find 4 real quick kills there, including Jinxie, who's now on Sniper, getting that headshot, getting a second actually. Wow, that was some quick work there coming from him. Only Jorge up now, and they can surely keep this going with, despite being equal, Jorge hasn't been healing that well after losing all his players, and they want to keep this going. They can commit to a dry push. They just need to find Solo Wallow, find one good rocket, but he surfs away onto the other side of the point, and they're taking this slowly, but finally finding Capu and Solo. They can just find Jorge as well. He hasn't quite got his Uber yet, and they just need someone to play on the point, and surely someone's going to get onto it eventually. There they are, finally. Better late than never.
Yeah, I mean, Jorge was there desperately trying to get an Uber, so if he just got one slice, he would have been able to get that Uber. He was at 78%, so one slice would have been enough to just get that charge and keep a couple of players alive. But again, what we're seeing here is Spain, they're playing tight, but when they decide to start going for a push, as long as they lose a player, England then just put a rock on that W key and just barrel on forward and just decide to just go forward, as a snowball, just rolling through the choke points as a big unit. So we come on to this next mid-fight here, as we do see aggression as they're taking each other's sides. Kaylee goes down, but Flash gets the frag onto Seed, so there's no heals for the English side. Everyone is very weak on the Spanish side, though, and Jorge goes down to Nas, and the rest of the players are surely going to get cleaned up here. Just Scatmo alive. He is hiding, maybe going to go for a play. Does get, Kunu down to 1 HP! Again, we're seeing these 1 HP survivals, and Spain getting wiped there. Seeds is going to have a small Uber advantage because he's spawned on last and he's not actually healing yet. So by the time he starts healing, Jorge is going to be up and healing himself. So basically equal Ubers, Chando. But again, we're seeing kind of just this aggression coming in from England. It's just working out really well for them. And I feel Spain just need to play a little bit tighter with their scouts, because they seem to be the guys doing the work. The soldiers are doing a great job of making the space, and the scouts are, there we go, getting the kills. So maybe you just need to adapt here, but they are on the last point. One more round for England and we'll be hitting the mercy rule with the 5 win differential. I'm just taking a look at the soldier there, Charlie, hiding just above choke, but nobody's deciding to come his way and get caught out by that trap. But be interesting to see if they go for just a push here. Maybe they're feeling confident, just go for an Uber versus Uber exchange here, Chando, because at the moment it's working out for them. I
mean, yeah, the DM and the aggression, they don't really need to even worry about these Ubers in most cases, but it's going to be Spain that actually takes the fight to them. Popping off their Uber through lobby, and C's going to pop off as well, but Charlie and Kunu both going to go down. Not a great exchange here for England. They're going to have to back up. Jinxie balls as well to Solo Wallow, and 3 up now for England. It's really nicely played that by Spain, actually. Did not expect that coming at all. They're starting to plonk some players onto the point there. Scatmo especially. And yeah, England, just going to be having a retreat out of Big Door here with no real opportunities. You've got McCaslin on the back lines. He's going to try and find that 1v1 against W Flash, but he's not in a great position as Scatmo comes to the aid, finds 2 clean shots onto him. And meanwhile, on the front lines here, it's going to be Ceez having to back out more and more. But Soldiers are doing the damage.
Spy on the point. Spy's coming in from behind Solo and he gets the backstab. Nobody notices it's a double spy. Jinxie's also on the spy, but he fluffs his lines and doesn't manage to get the kill onto the medic. So Jinxie down. Charlie survives for maybe to backstab another day, but the double spy play coming in from England there gets the demi man, but doesn't get that golden pick of the medic. And Uber's actually used by England. Jorge at 99%. Finally does get his charge, and they should be able to clean up. They saw a great rocket there from Kaylee. And surely going to help take down Mikazin. And Spain should have a huge Uber advantage here to push into last now, and maybe get another round on the board.
I just want to check. That is a legal move. They can play 2 spies.
Yeah, 2 spies are allowed.
They
yeah.
can. Okay. That's just such an odd decision, to be fair. I don't know why they'd ever think... I mean, unless they're just kind of memeing at this point. If that was a genuine decision, or maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they both went spy at the same time. Miscommunication, perhaps. But, I mean, it could have worked if that was 1 spy. But now the Uber's going to come in for Spain. They find W Flash. Well defended by Nas, actually, who's playing in that kind of water area. And they find Scatmo as well. They do lose McCaslin. But Ceez now on 85%. Fairly weak, but if they can keep this going, yes, they can keep it going. Haley on that 6k, finally getting a reflect killed by Jinxie, but they're going to keep this aggression through into River. And yeah, it looks like I want to push out with Jinxie on Pyro there in fair game, because it can work, especially on this map. Pyro very, very strong on a map like Gullywash, and now finally starting to take the second point now. England with that with about 40% Uberad, could definitely keep this going. But at the same time, there's no rush. They're in a very comfortable position score-wise. If they can just wait for those frags, they find Solo, Wallow, and W Flash as well. Only losing Charlie to Scatmo, who's now on those backlines, and it's going to be Jinxie's taking the fight to him. Kunu's going to try and cut him off. 3 shots and he's down. Nicely done there by Kunu, and they can now not have to worry about that aggression. They shouldn't even have to use here, as Spain have already backed out onto second.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much a free mid fight for England here, as you do see Spain have their Uber charge ready, and actually Jinxie just walking forward with the reflect kill. No, the reflect pipe comes in and takes down Jorge Solo, inadvertently killing his own medic by throwing a pipe at the Pyro, and that surely is going to be curtains now as England use the Uber. What you could say is a free Uber for England there. They are going to get still have an advantage pushing in here. Spain to get their respawns for last. But this could be it, as Nas is actually taking water with Mikazin as well, and then Kaylee trades on the point with Mikazin, and actually Scatmo is trying to go for the demo fragging here. It's down very, very weak. Actually, Nas pipes him with the Iron Bomber. He's on the point. He's sticking himself off. Flash comes in, gets the frag, but the Pyro comes in as well. And that is going to make it 6-1 for England, hitting that win difference of 5. And they take the second map much more comfortably than the first map. But, you know, Spain started off strong there, 1-0. Could definitely have been 2. Scatmo so tantalizingly close with that back cap, almost a second back cap, getting another round on the board. But after that, England just kind of decided that walking forward was the answer to their problems, started winning the mid fight, started converting the advantages into rounds, and in the end, just taking the 6 points.
Yeah, congratulations there to England taking those 6 points, as you say. But I mean, CeeJaey, you're a Spanish player, and are you impressed by your fellow comrades there? Because I think they did a bloody good job.
I think they did fantastically. I mean, of all the players, the only person I didn't know of was Flash, who's really tremendously impressed me. Some great bombs, some great positioning. Got that back cap on Gullywash. That was the cap that they managed to get right at the start of the game. So his positioning and his timing has been really, really good on the flank. But the scout combo for Spain has been absolutely insane. I mean, you know, not taking anything else from the other players. Kaylee there, you know, at the end there holding last. Managed to get a 5 kill streak before finally going down to the Pyro. But just in those clutch situations, hitting those rockets. I'd love to see like a direct hit kind of percentage coming out of these soldiers, because I'm sure Kaylee was hitting direct after direct. Solo was putting out insane damage. That was his insane play on last, where he got like 4 kills. as England were pushing in with an advantage, just absolutely demolished them single-handedly. But the scout combo for Spain, I felt on process, you really saw that was their strength. The rest of the players making the space, and as soon as England would send in a soldier, Jorge was dodging for his life. Capu scout mode just had that confidence and that ability to be able to just deny any pressure from the soldiers, any pressure coming in from England. They found it a little bit more difficult on Gully, which isn't maybe as friendly for scouts as process, which may be why, Spain needed to adapt how they were playing slightly. But in the end, I think a lot of people wouldn't have given them a thought in this match. So to get 3 rounds on process and nearly go 2 up on this map here, I think they should be very proud of themselves. I mean, some good stats coming in from the England players like Kunu, only dying 7 times there. And, like you said, this probably isn't the main English roster, Chando, but do you think any of these players might, after this performance, put themselves in for maybe getting selected for the main team?
I could definitely see Kunu reaching the main team at this rate. He was played very well, just on both matches. I believe he top fragged on both, in fact. And fair play to him there. Just really, really good scout work, good damage consistently. And again, because we've only seen England play 1 match before this, I guess it's hard to gauge what their actual main roster is. There hasn't been any confirmation as far as I'm aware. And so, I mean, it would be hypothetical, but I would like to see maybe Kunu, Crafty Dave on the scouts, maybe seeing McCaslin. Honestly, I could see Charlie playing it, but if not, Yillen. Definitely would like to see Ratslayer play a little bit more. I mean, Nasboy was pounding that damage, but more so on process, I did feel like he fed a little bit, but I mean, nonetheless, was hitting the damage, and fair play to him there. So, but at the end of the day, I think Ratslayer is just a far more experienced Prem demo man, and I would like to see him kind of reaching that main spot. And then obviously CeeJaey, I think he's pretty undisputed, as you said earlier, probably one of the best medics in the world at the moment. And yeah, I mean, you can't really get better than CeeJaey at the end of the day. So yeah. Kunu, definitely, I could see him playing more. I could see Charlie as well. He actually, really, I think he was definitely playing that pocket role and just playing it well as well. He was maybe a tad aggressive, but if that's working for them and they're getting the results, then who am I to judge? But ultimately, I mean, Yellen, slightly more experienced, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't such a bad roster in the end, especially when they got warmed up and when they were playing that Gully Wash map. The scouts especially were really tearing it up. I'd really like to see Kunu playing a little bit more there. Joy to watch and really, really doing a lot of good for his team there.
Yeah, very, very entertaining game coming out from both sides. But England, both of their games in this group are done and dusted now, winning against both Latvia and Spain. Of course, this is the group with only 3 teams, so only 2 matches per team. So England qualified, 12 points, guaranteed first position, and a better seed going into the knockout playoff stage. Spain, with 1 more game, they have to come up against Latvia. And the winner of that game will be going through as the 2nd place team in the group. And like we said earlier, the number of rounds picked up against England will maybe come into play if that game ends in a draw. So let's say if it's a 3-3 on maps, maybe, the more rounds, whichever team got the more rounds, maybe going through. We'll be trying to bring you that action in the future. There'll be more games tomorrow coming from us. We have potentially more Nations Cup action coming from ETF2L, or we may have some UGC Highlander playoff action. So keep an eye on the Twitter, of course, to get updates on what games we'll be casting. There'll be lots of action coming this week as the ETF2L Highlander season kicks off, as the Premiership teams begin their first games on Badwater. We'll be heading over to TFTV now, who are covering the Finland versus Poland game, another 6v6 Nations Cup game. I've been CeeJaey, joined by Chando and Wiethoofd. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a great night and enjoy more TF2.
Hi, old beaver! Away!
This is real.